everybody, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back, folks. If you do not know who I am an autistic content creator, and I make videos about autism and stuff. So, a couple days ago, I made a video asking you guys to ask me some questions for a video about autism, about me, about literally anything, and you guys provided a lot of good questions. So yeah, that's what this video is going to be about. Answering your questions. Disclaimer, everyone, I am just one autistic gal, and these answers to these questions are simply from my experience and my opinions. So yeah, let's jump right in. Okay, so the first question is, how did you feel when you got diagnosed? So to be honest, I felt like almost relieved that there was like a reason why I felt so out of place. And I was like, oh my god, this clarifies everything. I'm not just some weirdo who can't interact with people, who can't make friends easily, who has tantrums, which were meltdowns a lot, and just has a hard time functioning. Like, oh, there's a reason? I'm not just like a glitch in the system. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not a broken human. I'm just autistic. And also I was really relieved because then I would be getting some benefits in school, and I was really struggling in school at the time. So I was like, this is all around pretty good. So I felt pretty good about it. How old was I when I got diagnosed? So I was 11 or 12. I can't really remember. When my parents kind of expressed like their suspicions that I was autistic, and I was like, cool, sounds legit. And they're like, okay, cool, let's work on getting a diagnosis. Spoiler alert, it's not that easy to get a diagnosis. So I was actually 14 when I got my official "you're autistic" papers and stuff. The next question is, what do you think is the biggest misconception about autism? For me personally, probably one of the biggest misconceptions about autism is that we are all 5-year-old boys with a train obsession, or high-functioning girls who are just a little quirky, and that is not at all what autism is a very wide spectrum. I think that's a pretty big misconception, that we're basically all these certain stereotypes, which is not at all the truth. So the next question, which is a fabulous question, was I always this open about my diagnosis, about me being autistic? No, I was not always this open about being autistic. I used to think it was this huge secret that was only for certain trusted and special people in my life to hear. But also, I wasn't very open about it because I thought people would start treating me differently or start making fun of me, which are two very valid fears. And actually, people kind of surprised me. I mean, nowadays, I don't go up to people and are like, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm autistic. I just tell it to people if I think it's necessary. But I don't hide it like it's this huge, massive secret anymore, which is how it used to be. So the answer to your question is no. I was not always this open about being with the autism. The next question is, what is my hair routine? So I think I'm gonna, if you're genuinely curious, I will make a separate video about that, because my hair is currently not in the curly state. It is up and away because it is so hot. It is so freaking hot where I live. So my curls are not out and about, but the next time I make my curls, I will video it for you if you really, really would like. To put it simply, I just use leave-in conditioner, no gel, and I just style it with a comb. It literally minimal effort kind of situation. Next question. How do people with autism experience social situations? That was the end of the question, and I'm assuming you meant Mr. or Miss Commenter meant different from autistic, non-autistic people. So I'm just gonna answer it like that. So to put the question how I think you meant to say it is, how do people with autism experience social situations differently from autistic people? Okay, so this is personally my experience. I'm not speaking for all the autistic people, simply my experience. Personally, I think that autistic people struggle to communicate because we either don't or physically just can't play the game with socializing. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? Like the game, like when you are trying to kind of tell people things, but in a very around the bush way as to not hurt their feelings, and then the other person says it in a very roundabout way instead of just saying it as it is. That's kind of what playing the game is. And personally, I have a very hard time playing that game. And when I try to play the game, it always comes off as off to other people, so I've just kind of given up at basically at this point. So I think that's one of the differences. We don't play the game. We just say things as it is and perceive things as they are without reading into them, because we can't or because we don't. And personally, how I feel different when I communicate with holistic people is I kind of feel like there's this veil between me and holistic people. I feel like it's like makes everything kind of blurry, where like I can kind of make out what's happening, but not 100%. And it varies on the situation, but like it always kind of feels like there's something in between that I can't put my finger on, that just makes it really hard to understand people and for people to understand me. It also kind of feels like almost like everyone's either like on an inside joke that I'm not part of, or I also kind of feel like everyone was born with a manual on how to communicate and how to socialize with other people, and I just simply was handed like a little index card with a few things being like, good luck. That's how I feel. Like I feel like I had to learn these things that come natural to holistic people when they communicate. All right, this is the last question of the day. What do you think of phrases like high and low functioning? So personally, I think they can be productive when needing like a descriptor word, because like, let's face it, there is a difference between people with different supports needs. Now, I'll get back to that in a second. But I think what people think when we use the terms high functioning or low functioning is that autism is a spectrum that is linear, where you are more autistic or less autistic, and that's not how it works. It's more like if there was a color wheel and you are somewhere on the color wheel where you have all these different types of colors from the color wheel in that little pixel. Because everyone's needs are so complex that you can't just fit them into functioning labels. I understand why people don't like functioning labels, because they're not, like, they aren't always very accurate. I think what a better label to use that would be just more accurate in describing autistic people and their needs is support need levels. So like higher support needs and lower support needs. I don't know, I just think it's a better way of saying it. It's more accurate, and it doesn't really kind of reference the idea that autism is a linear spectrum. So yeah, I hope those answered your questions. Thank you so much for the questions. I really, really appreciated it. You guys provided excellent questions, and I hope I provided good answers for you guys. And yeah, thank you for popping in and listening to my stuff. If you have any questions in the comments, anything to say in the comments, feel free, feel comfortable. Have a lovely day, people. Bye!